Jesus, it's freezing. So, contrary to popular belief, Australia isn't bathed in harsh sunlight all year round, or at least not the Gold Coast anyways. And although technically there are 4 seasons in Australia, really there's only 2, and that's summer and winter. And currently it's winter on the Gold Coast. So in Queensland, we're lucky enough to get over 300 days of sunshine a year. But sun doesn't necessarily equal heat. I mean, look at Antarctica. Not that I'm comparing the Gold Coast to Antarctica. They're obviously worlds apart. But today, it's early, it's sunny, but it's freezing. So where I'm from originally in the UK, winter means winter. It is so cold that sometimes when you breathe in, icicles form on the inside of your throat. And the constant bitterness is just an assault on each sense in your body. If you don't wrap up in at least 10 layers in the depth of the UK winter, this is what you can look like. If you've never experienced a British winter before, sometimes it snows, and sometimes it snows in the UK when it isn't even winter, but what you can always expect is freezing cold rain, that kind of rain that comes at you from all angles, and it's just like that rain is meant just to piss you off. It also gets dark really early in the UK, sometimes as early as around 3 o'clock. But do you know what? Sometimes that doesn't make a difference because the days are so dark anyways, you don't even notice that it's pitch black. And the worst thing about a UK winter, and I feel so sorry for my fellow British people out there in the UK, is that it far exceeds its allocated 3 months. Winter lasts a lot longer than its allowed 3 months. My toes are literally turning into ice blocks at the moment. It's freezing. Thankfully though, the UK gets a winter Christmas, and that almost makes it worth it. UK Christmas is pretty sweet during winter time. So as a native Brit, who's also spent quite a few years living in Wellington, in New Zealand as well, both really cold places during winter time, it's pretty unreal to come and live in a place like this, where wintertime looks like this. One of the best things about a winter on the Gold Coast are the sunrises. Don't get me wrong, every sunrise on the Gold Coast is beautiful, but there's a certain sunrise that you get in the winter time, and the best thing about it is that you don't have to get up at 4 a.m. to see it. Although you do need to bring a hoodie or a jacket. I'm not gonna lie, it's still freaking cold here today. 10 degrees at 6 a.m. That's cold now for me. So the temperature during the Gold Coast winter doesn't get to those crazy 30 degrees like you get virtually all year round, but you do get temperatures that exceed the 20s. When you get a day that's in the teens, Jesus, you feel it. And conversely, the other day we got to 27. It was like, hallelujah, summer's back. There's not an icicle in sight or in my throat, and there is no way that I would be able to survive another British winter. Another pretty sweet deal with the Gold Coast winter is the rain, or lack thereof. I don't remember the last time that we saw rain here, and it's the same with last winter as well. It's technically the dry season, which is good because it means that I get to keep my hair frizz-free, humidity-free, and just generally beautiful. Another glorious gift of winter on the Gold Coast is the cooler nights. During the height of summer, it's plus 30 degrees inside your place where you live. Even with air conditioning, it's still pretty horrendous. Thankfully, in winter time, it's barely comfortable. Picture not karate chopping your bed, rolling over, punching it, hating your bed right now because it's kind of like a bath, and then throw a person next to you and it's just a nightmare. So thanks, winter, you're making me sleep better, which is a gift to the world in itself. No daylight saving. That's something that I've always hated in every country that I've lived in, daylight saving. In Queensland, no such thing, and what a wonderful thing that is. Okay, it gets darker a little bit earlier, but in Queensland, or on the Gold Coast, it always gets dark early. Even in summertime, dark, 7 o'clock, no questions asked. Another great thing about winter on the Gold Coast is that there's not many people here, and the theme parks are empty, which means I get to go on a Scooby-Doo ride as many times as I like without having to really queue up. Bonus time! Next, and this is a big one, your chances of survival dramatically increase during the winter. I didn't know this before I moved here, but during the winter and colder months in the Gold Coast, the snakes tend to go into a state of hibernation and they become less active. They're still around, but they're usually hiding under rocks and they generally tend to stay clear of you, which is good because you become complacent after a while. And it's always a bonus emotion when you find your child running through the long grass or picking up rocks and you realise, hey, it's winter, it's all good. Even better, it's the same with the spiders. No spiders. Or less of them. Or they're hiding, I don't care. There's just less spiders. Less cockroaches. Less insects just in general. Less flying foxes, which are essentially bats just that take steroids. And less jellyfish in the water. No such luck with the sharks though. It's whaling season during the winter months and that's pretty spectacular. But when the whales come in, they also bring in the great white sharks as well. During a Gold Coast winter, there are two types of people. There are those in shorts and t-shirts, and there are those in hoodies and jeans. Guess which ones are which? There are tourists and there are residents. So anyone not familiar with the Gold Coast winter, you'd be pretty sweet in your summer best out here. But if you're like me, you've acclimatised, or you're just a pansy when it comes to the cold, bring on the summer, I say. Clocking out, time for a strong coffee and a hot drink and a hot, hot shower. Gold Coast winter, everyone. Not a raindrop or a snowflake, a snowman, icicle, sleet in sight.